Hello.
Hey.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I was looking at the thumbnail for our last episode and the start of it. We're both making
Yeah.
kind of funny faces. You should see that. If you haven't. Go back and look at the thumbnail for last time's episode. But
I'll check that out.
hey, guys, we are now live, and we are now 2 weeks into the new contest as well.
Yeah.
If you guys missed it, we announced that in the last episode. And in the meantime, I did also put up a video over on my channel as well. If you guys missed that, we'll maybe mention that again at the end of the episode as well too. So try to remind me if I forget about that. But good morning, Adam.
Good morning. How was your day?
Yeah, it was busy. It was a blur. Just recording all day these days. Just trying to get a whole bunch of stuff recorded so that I have stuff to just kind of put out over the next couple months while we're going through moving and all that, and won't be able to record stuff for a while. So trying to stock up on video. So yeah, recording a bunch of stuff today. Pretty soon I'll have to shut down my recording space here. And so it's kind of last final hour of that.
Yeah, little by little.
Of course, there's still a lot more that I've not gotten to that I don't think I'll get to that I was hoping to get to by the end of it, but that's how it always goes, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, it's going well though, and the preparation's all going well. It's coming along. We're knee deep and all that now, so
yeah. We were saying last night it's only a month away.
Yes, 1 month away. So in our next episode, 2 weeks from now, I think I should still be able to do it, so it should be fine. But for the next episode after that, 4 weeks from now, we won't be able to do that episode because I won't. That'll be like right before we're leaving.
Yeah.
But then after 2 weeks after that, well, maybe we can do one live together.
Yeah. Be exciting
there. So yeah, so that'll be coming up very soon. So yeah, guys, again, just a reminder, if you don't know what I'm talking about at all about the Gundam artifact contests, watch our last episode or just go check out the video I put up on my channel that kind of has just all the information condensed there, and there's time codes in the video and everything, so you can skip around. One thing that I did want to clarify though, and I meant to put up a post on my channel about this, and I'll try to do that after the show today, but just to clarify, because a few people have asked about this. Number one, if you can use photo etch parts. I thought I mentioned that last time, but maybe I didn't. You guys cannot use photo etch parts just because photo etch parts are metal parts, because as I did mention, I did not want you guys to use option parts like Kotobukiya or Wave plastic option parts, and using photo etch parts is the same thing, just a different material. So no photo etch, but you can use plot plate to scratch build, and I did mention that you can use plot plate for like joint modifications and stuff, but you can use some plot plate or the actual plastic parts of the runners if you want to use that as well too. It's still part of the kit technically to scratch build, but around 20% or less, shouldn't be any more than that. I don't want something that's like just half scratch build. So you can scratch build a little bit if you want. If you want to scratch build like a new weapon or a new shield or some new parts of the backpack or something. Someone asked about wanting to add like using the parts of the runner to add like fuel tanks to it or something. So yeah, you guys can do that. And I'll put up a post about that over my channel for anybody who misses this now. But so with that reminder out of the way, let's talk about what's new in town, what we've got to give away today. Adam, what's new over there?
We are giving away the Gundam base clear color Masquerade Barbados. So very excited, very cool kit. I have built mine when they first came out there in Japan. I ordered one and had it shipped over here, and then Bandai had they have that special event or something here, so we got a few to give away to people. So very cool. And then real grade high news. I know a lot of people will probably still get messages even after this on the comments, but they should be here today.
All of them at once.
All of them at once. So we will get some shipped out hopefully, but we will probably be shipping them out through the next week. because we have a whole bunch that are in, and they are all sold out. So, as we get out in stock orders, we'll be getting out pre-orders. So just kind of bear with us. We will have them pretty much today. They do say they're out for delivery. But just be patient. If you don't get tracking today, you will get it shortly. Yep.
That's good. Exciting news. How about the Perfect Grade Unicorns? Or not the Perfect Grade, the Perfect Grade Unleashed?
Those are coming next week. I think there's only like a few back orders still left, so those will all go out, and we actually put it up for back order again because we'll have extra. So if you want to reserve one, use the ZakuAurelius code, save yourself 10%. There's a bunch that we have still available.
Okay,
so you
nice.
Can, get those. The Eclipse should be here next week as well, which is pretty cool. Those are all sold out as well. So as we get in all these pre-orders, just kind of said bear with us as we get them all out, because there's a lot of them that we've sold and a lot of them that we got to get shipped out to everybody.
Yeah, that'll be nice to finally have those, and then just to finally have some Perfect Grade Unleashed just in stock for people to be able to order again. That's cool. I do want to answer one question here in the chats to Luchiki asked about 3D printing allowed for the contest. I think I mentioned this either in the live stream or in my video, one of the places. I'm pretty sure I mentioned about that, but you can 3D print stuff. If you're making a diorama and you want to 3D print like some cars or a building or some space debris or something, anything for the diorama, you can 3D print it, but not actual parts for the model kit. Still want the model kit to be just basically primarily using the Gundam artifact kits. And like I said, you can scratch build a little bit if you want. And I know scratch building, 3D printing, is essentially kind of the same thing, basically, where you're making your own parts from your own imagination. I understand, but for this one, we're just gonna say no 3D printing for the actual kit itself. But don't worry, if you want to do some 3D printing, that'll probably be an option in the next contest. Just stick with the artifact kits for this one. But all right, so very cool. Anything else new recently that's come out? I guess probably not a whole lot. Anything else new that's come out?
No. I think the next big thing is the Virtue. We are getting in the battle log kits should be arriving soon. I haven't gotten any tracking from Bandai, but from my understanding is they got them at Bluefin. So we're just waiting for them to pack them up. I could be wrong. They might have just arrived to the port. I got to look at that email again and make sure that I read it right. They either arrived at the port or they're at Bluefin's warehouse. So we'll be getting those in soon. I know a lot of people have been searching for them all over at Targets far and wide. But if you pre-order it from us, we'll have them in, and we'll have plenty available too for anyone to get that could not find any of those. So.
Good. Nice. Yep. All right, then let's get into some questions then. Yeah. All right, so heading over to the YouTube community tab post. Super Speedy said, are there any sleeper / underrated kits you'd recommend picking up? We had a similar question last episode, but anything else come to mind?
I mean, if you're talking like high grade, oops, sorry, that was loud. If you're talking about like high grade kits, I definitely like the Dom Tropin and stuff like that. I think those are not very well known, especially probably maybe like new builders, people have gotten into the hobby in the last like year to 2 years. A lot of the older high grade kits are pretty good, but ones that kind of stick out. I personally like the high grade Dom Tropin.
Yeah, definitely. It's one that like on the surface, especially just like if you see it on the shelf, it just kind of looks like just another HG. It's kind of hard to get the feeling of how fun the kit actually is. It definitely, it has just a ton of stuff in the box.
Yeah. Trying to think what else master grade kit wise.
My answer to this question is always the HG Silver Bullet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people built probably the suppressor, Silver Bullet suppressor, but the there's another one too that's just like the Silver Bullet. The
Dovin Wolf.
Yeah. That one's not bad too. Yeah.
and still waiting on and the problem is people think that they're going to make a Mark V, and I would. Oh, sorry, I realized we still have that comment on the screen. Sorry,
I have Sonic staring me down.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah. So a lot of people were hoping that they would make a Gundam Mark V because, like, in lore, I mean, they're connected and like the designs are very similar, but there wouldn't. Just like with the Master Grade, how I don't think we're necessarily going to get a Master Grade Silver Bullet anytime soon, just because we have the Mark V now. It just kind of goes opposite in HG. I think the designs are similar, but they wouldn't actually really be able to reuse very much of that mold, like a 5 of the parts. Maybe they'd be able to reuse. But it would be really cool if they would make a high grade Mark V. Thomas asked, is there a Gundam or mobile suit design that at first you hated, but the more you saw it, the more you liked it? For me, it was the Full Armor Gundam. I hated the over-the-top number of shields. However, it grew on me after building the Verka kit. Now it's one of my favorites all time. So I'm assuming he's talking about the Thunderbolt version.
Yeah, I would actually say the same thing. When I first saw images of the kits, I hated like the bag, like things that went over the joints. But when I built the kits without those, I liked them a lot. I'm not a fan of those. You know, some people are, I guess. I can understand it's a different aesthetic, but I did not like those little trash bag joint protection things at all.
Yeah, it's a cool look and it's very unique. It's just what we get in the box from Bandai is not really the greatest options. It's kind of, you're better off sorting out some other different option for it. So I mean, there's other different ways to just kind of make that yourself.
Yeah,
it would probably be best if you want it to really look its best, because what you get out of the box is not great. But what would be one for me? I don't know. I guess like a lot of like the older kits. I don't know. I guess the Gelgoog could be one, possibly. It's one that, like, I don't know, in the early years, it wasn't like one that I was that big of a fan of, but now I really like the design, and especially all the different variants and everything. Some of like the hard to love, very ugly one-year war Xeon aquatic mobile suits and stuff are just kind of so goofy looking, but they do grow on you, I think, as you see more like custom builds and stuff of them. Like when you see it built like really nice, you're thinking, oh, you kind of see the potential of it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it looks really cool actually if you just make it your own. The Sleeping Dutchman said, are you planning to add more build fighters and Gundams to the storefront in Daytona, or swapping the ones you have? I do appreciate seeing the MG, the O when I visit, so I'm in no rush for you to switch it. Just wondering.
Yeah, so what we have in the storefront is usually what we have in stock. And if you see something that's in stock on our website but not in the store, feel free to ask one of us. We can always go back and get it for you. So yeah, if you just don't see it and it's, you know, in stock on the website and you're like, darn, you didn't miss out, you literally just have to ask one of us and we can just walk back and go get it for you. But usually what's in the storefront is what we have in stock. We just are waiting for Bandai to do reprints of Build Fighters kits or Build Divers kits. So, yeah.
I'm looking forward to displaying some of my stuff, some more of my stuff there. Messer is there now, if you guys have not noticed that. And some of my collection, of my personal collection, but of other works that are not by me. But I'm definitely looking forward to that. Having a space that I can show my works that people who have come in can actually see them.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. Something I'm looking forward to, definitely. Chibi Mecha asked, what's your favorite Monoi kits? Can be any Mecha series, Gundam, 30 minutes missions, etc.
My personal would probably be the Camphor. I like the Camphor a lot.
Yeah. I'm one that I like the Camphor, but I don't know. It's not one of my favorites. I know a lot of people really like it, and it's not my favorite. I like it well enough.
Yeah.
I like the Goof Custom a lot. That one's definitely one of my favorites. That one's super cool. Gelgoog, like I was just mentioning. I do really like the Gelgoog. The Zaku2s, my favorite Zaku2 would be the F2, but I do really like the high mobility types as well. Those are also really awesome. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of really great Monois. Actually, another one that I should not forget to mention is the Gundam Cascade, the Monoi Gundam. Yes, or Monoi Gundams. Mike Skyr is another good one. The Greys, Greys also another good one. Also very cool design. So there's a lot of great Monoi designs, definitely. Really, really hoping we'll get an HG or RE100 kit or something of the Cascade someday.
Yeah, maybe.
Definitely one that's on my dream list. Do you think Bandai will ever make more 3.0 kits? Eric asked.
Yeah. I mean, I think that anytime soon, maybe not, but yeah, you'll see another 3.0 of something else before you see a 4.0 of the RX-78, I think.
You think so?
Yeah, I would think so. It might be the Zaku, but you know, I would think that we would have a 3.0 of something eventually. Other than that,
yeah, what would it be? The Zaku would make sense, but then again, they could go for, you know, something like a Freedom or something, just because it's also very popular. I mean, like the Zaku is so iconic to the series, but is it the most popular? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not sell quite as many.
They might make a 2.0 unicorn and then a 3.0 right after.
Well, they'll have to make an official 2.0 unicorn first. But yeah, I do agree. I don't think that they'll make a Master Grade 4.0 Gundam anytime soon. I think, and this is maybe just be my wishful thinking. We've talked about this before. I think what's more likely that they would make like a 2.0 version of the Verka Gundam, which would be great. I would love that because I love the design, and having an updated version of that kit would be great. Yeah. So it would be just a kind of a different 2.0 of the RX-78 too.
Yeah, I could see that.
Fingers crossed. We'll have to maybe get a chance to whisper that into Bandai's ear. What's the craziest Gunpla you've ever built? One that impressed you the most? Firefly asked.
What was the first part of that question?
What's the craziest Gunpla you've ever built? So one that was just like I don't know, just had a really crazy construction, super complicated and impressive or something, I guess.
I mean, it's not a Bandai related kit, but why can't I think of the name of the company? They make the big, gigantic. It was the Deep Striker, but it was
Mechanicore?
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Those, if no one's built any of those, there are so many parts. It is very well done. That it looks very good when you're finished. But I would have to say probably that would be the craziest.
Yeah, actually, strangely enough, the next question is actually related to Mechanicore. So I was actually going to skip it, but if we're talking about that, then why don't we go do that one? They just asked, what are your thoughts on Mechanicore kits, and do you think Bandai would do anything similar that's super detailed?
I like them a lot. One day we might get them. Just the cost of shipping. I mean, it was the cost of shipping the kits back then just didn't warrant us getting them. And now with shipping costs even more.
Sure.
You know, but I mean, they are very good kits.
The problem now is that I don't know if they're going to be making anything more. They're currently supposed to be releasing their version of the XS, but it's been like delayed, and it seems like it's not actually going to be coming out. I saw like some suppliers were like canceling their pre-orders for it now, so they might be done making kits now. It seems like.
Yeah, I hope not.
One thing that I've been doing in preparing for moving is I've gone through a handful of my Mechanicore kits that I have, and just cutting up all the parts off the runners and just separating them out into bags. So like putting all the arm parts into a bag, torso parts into a bag, just to save a lot of space. Because then I can just pack a whole bunch of other kits into the box together with them. And so it's not the same experience as building the kits, of course. And I have just very limited experience actually building them. I only started to build the Penelope a little bit. But I mean, they have a bunch of fitting issues, and like the actual mold quality kind of depends on the kit, because like their version of the Cubile, while I was cutting up that one, I could definitely notice like the quality of it seemed less than others. So it depends on the kit. But yeah, they have a ton of detail, but honestly, like it's not that different from something like the Perfect Grade Unleashed. So or I would even say even like the Exia. It's just a kind of different designs, a different aesthetic. But in terms of like the detail and the number of parts and everything, it's similar. They're in a larger scale as well too. So that's one reason why they have like huge boxes, because they're actually more like 1/72 scale, even though they're labeled as 1/100 scale. So they're kind of like perfect grades, basically. Anyway, let's see. Daniel asked, how do you guys react to Instagram pages starting drama and calling out sponsors? I won't name names, but I'm sure people can guess.
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, how do we say this that's politically correct and not... I mean, you just treat people the way you want to be treated, honestly. The company that did that to the other company has a history of being shady and dirtbags, but it is what it is. But yeah, no, you should always treat other people the way you want to be treated. I mean, we all know who each other are that sell these, that are probably the bigger stores. And just respect your other fellow. I mean, we all like the hobby, so just respect your other fellow hobbyists. If they have questions. I mean, there's tons of stores that reach out to me every week asking questions if I've had to deal with this, or have I gone through this before, and I don't blow them off. I generally try to help them. Yeah, they're competitors, but I mean, they're people just trying to make a living, and they're trying to make the hobby fun for people. They're starting their own contests, they're doing different things, and they just want help knowing how to do that, how to bring that fun and that enjoyment to the hobby and to other people. Why would you not want to help them do that? Why would you attack a store that literally helped bring this stuff to the United States, which enables you to be able to function? Because without them, let's be honest, the US wouldn't even know what Gundam model kits really are, probably. So why would you attack that outlet that helped kind of drive popularity over here for years and years before it became super popular?
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say that other than just be a good person, don't be a jerk.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's the same thing for me. I mean, fortunately, our hobby in general doesn't necessarily have a lot of drama between different content creators or different stores and things like that. It's fairly calm. I mean, you have some stuff going on here or there, but so there's really not that much to avoid. But at least just like as far as like for my YouTube channel and like for the years I've been doing that, I mean, I think the thing is just let stuff go, basically, or just don't bother speaking about stuff. If you make yourself involved in things, then it just perpetuates drama and just perpetuates negativity. So I mean, the best way to deal with the negativity is just by ignoring it, just being positive. I forget who the quote is by, and I think it may be one of those quotes that like there's no official like there's no known source of who the original quote was by, but something, and I'm going to paraphrase it, but something along the lines of like the best revenge is living well, something like that. Like basically the best way to live if you feel like people have wronged you, or if you feel like there's some drama, is just live your life and be happy and successful. And that's kind of the best thing you can do to be kind of above the drama. So anyway, yes, interesting question. Corporal body. Corporal body. Okay, I got it. It's just the spelling is kind of weird. This has probably been asked 1,000 times, but what Gundam series has the best mobile suit designs?
Oh man. So I personally like probably Seed is my top, and then most of UC stuff. There's some UC stuff I don't like, but most UC series, I like those designs as well. Those are probably my top two. I'm not a fan of some of the other ones, but
yeah, I would. Seed actually immediately came to mind as well for me, because there are a lot of really great designs. There are a lot of designs that I don't really care that much for either, so it's kind of a mixed bag. But there are a lot of really nice designs there. Unicorn is another one that comes to mind because there's a ton. But the Unicorn, I mean, like half of the mobile suits we see in Unicorn are like recycled from 1 Year War or like Zeta era suits that you see like coming as like the Xeon Remnants suits and things like that. So they're not exactly all that many like completely original designs in Unicorn,
right.
but some very cool designs in Unicorn as well. Iron Blood Orphans as a series is fine. Honestly, the Gundam designs and like mobile suit designs in general aren't that appealing to me compared to other series. Like the Greys is one that sticks out. I do really like that design, and there are some that I really like. The Grimgird is another one that I do particularly like, and some of the Gundams. But like compared to other series, it wouldn't be very high on my list as far as like favorite Gundam designs personally. Gabriel has a question here. I would like to know. It's a question for me because I'm Zaku. He asked, "What's your favorite Zaku variant?" And I just mentioned before the Zaku 2F2 is my favorite version of the Zaku 2, and just like, but all Zakus in general, I may just stick with that because there's a lot of them that I like. A lot of like the MSV designs are also quite cool, like the Desert Zaku and stuff like that. Those are pretty cool too, but we'll just say the Zaku 2F2. I do really like that one. Yeah. Let's see. Are you going to restock Anchoret Paint? Twig asked.
I have no idea when they're going to get more, to be honest. I have no clue if we ever will or what the time frame on that would be, sadly.
If you had the opportunity.
Yeah, if we had the opportunity, yeah.
So theoretically, if possible, yes, just no idea when that
right.
will be. What's your favorite SD model kit?
I have not built any SD model kits.
Not a single one.
Nope. I mean, I think they're cool, but I just, I have not. I mean, my oldest daughter has built a few of them. Mostly like the EX ones. Those are not a lot of parts, but.
I'll give my answer here in a second. Connor had a interesting comment here. He said the Zaku 2F 2000. We need reprints soon. Talking about the Zaku 2F2. Connor, if it's any consolation, at least I have my review for that kit coming out probably next week. So at least you'll be able to see my review of it. I don't know when we'll be getting more from Bandai, but
it's been like 4 or 5 years since that kit's had a reprint.
It seems like it. Yeah, I think that was probably when I bought it, as I've had it for a couple of years.
Yeah,
I think, I don't know, or I picked it up in Japan from like a secondhand store, I believe. But yeah, it probably would have been from around the last time it got printed. And let's see. Oh yeah, my favorite SD kits. I actually would have to agree with Mike there in the comments. He mentioned the SD Cross Silhouette Barbatos and Nightingale. Yeah, definitely those are two of them. This is the Cross Silhouette line in general. I have not built all of them, but I've built a few, and yeah, they're very cool. The Barbatos was really nice, and the Nightingale, I actually painted that one. I was going to say it's the only one. I think I've painted 2 SD kits, possibly 3. But yeah, Nightingale is one of the very few SD kits that I've actually painted. The great thing about the Nightingale SD kit is you can appreciate the Nightingale design, and it doesn't take up a massive amount of shelf space.
Yeah.
So that is definitely a good one. The SD BB Senshi Unicorn one is, and I know a lot of people like that one. I think I did build the full armor, if I remember correctly. I think I borrowed it from a friend here who let me build it for him, and I think I did a review of that a few years back. It's pretty nice, yeah. But Unicorn, you know, it takes a lot of color separation. You don't have it's not perfect color separation as you might expect, but it's pretty good for SDs. People are commenting about my cat. Yeah, sorry. Cat's meowing here. One of them. He wants something. All right. Moving on here. Anthony said, this question is for both Adam and Zach. What was the first kit you painted, and did you airbrush or red all cans, or how did you paint that?
The first kit I painted was the no grade red frame 1/100 from Gundam Seed. That was the first one I ever painted. And I actually bought an airbrush, and I only painted the red parts. I didn't even paint the white parts, but yeah. That was mine.
Mine was the 1/44 scale Turn A Gundam. Nice. I think it's non-grade. I don't think those are, if I remember correctly, I don't think those are labeled as HG, but just the old one, 144. But I did that too, like not painting all of the colors, and especially then I think my third or fourth painted kit after that, like I painted the Gundam 04 and the Gundam 05 master grade kits, and like for the yellow orange accent color that those have on there, I didn't paint those parts because I figure they're small little accent colors, and I'm just gonna paint them the exact same color again. So yeah. It seemed like, oh, there's no point to repaint those. I'll just leave those. So yeah, I've done that too. Connor's question here. I just mentioned Connor's chat there in the chat, and here's his question. He put on YouTube. He said, "Think we will see P Bandais for all previous versions of G frames like the Aesculap." He put it. Aesculapius. I think he said G frames, but I think he's not talking about G frames. I think he just means like the G unit designs, the G unit Gundams, not the G frames kits. Do you think we'll see P Bandai HG? So like the Aesculapius is coming out as a HGP,
right? Yeah,
P Bandai kit. So they're like the Greep, the Low Booster, the Hydra Gundam, the other Gundams from G Unit.
I think it would depend on how well that did. If it did well, I think they'll do more. If it didn't do so well, then I don't think that they'll do.
Yeah, my fingers are crossed that they will. If you watched just the news video I put up here on the channel a few days ago, or at the beginning of this week, I did the new news video here, and I talked about that. And I think that it's very likely they'll at least do one or two more. If they do the full series of like the 5 main suits, I think it is, like what they have in like the old HGs, that'd be awesome. And I think it's possible, but I would say at least they'll probably will do 1 or 2 more. I don't know which one, but I think it seems like the Hydra Gundam is probably the most popular. That's the one I see people always mentioning that they will really want. But the other designs are really cool. I always really liked the Low Booster design. The Greep was one that I was not ever really that big of a fan of until I built the old one, and it's actually quite cool. So I hope that they will make more.
Yeah, I mean, I think it all goes down to how well that one did, honestly. But we'll see.
Yep. I pre-ordered it. My first ever pre-order on the USA P Bandai site.
Nice.
I had to switch over now from using the Korean page here, so that's nice. Yeah, I got that and was able to snag a Talgis Flugel as well.
Sweet.
Missed that the first time around. So very cool. Have those to look forward to in March or something, right? William asked, if you were to name a new line of Gundam models, what would you name it, and what scale would it be in?
A new line of Gundam models?
Like? So like RE100 or the PG Unleashed or the Mechanics or something like that. Indeed. I would name it Just Give Us Some More RE100s. I don't need another line. I need some more RE100s is what I need.
Yeah, man. So it would definitely be 1/100 because that's what I like building.
Yeah.
And it would be
no. Go ahead. I know what it would be.
Maybe top grade or something like that. I don't know.
Top grade?
Top grade. It'd be like a real grade, but for 1/100 maybe.
So like master grade.
Well, you know what yeah.
with like the pre-molded frame parts and stuff.
Yeah. Make it easier for people and parts that could break easier.
Yeah. They haven't done that a lot with the pre-molded frames in master grade line. I think just like the 1.5 Gundam has it.
Does it? I know that the only thing I can think of is the hands in some of the master grades. Yeah. But
for the frame, not much. The only one that comes to mind is I think it's the 1.5 version, and I think maybe the 1 Year War version also uses that. I've not built either of those versions of the kit.
I had no idea they even had that in them. So
yeah, I didn't either until someone mentioned it. Yeah, I did not know that either. I was actually kind of surprised because I thought it was like something they started with RG, but it wasn't. They actually did do it before.
So, tough grade. That's a good
tough grade.
They don't break as easy when they fall.
That's SD. Tough grade. If you're like painting the kits, all the masking and things you got to do, especially on some of like the really ornate designs. That's tough grade, in my opinion. But no, what I would make is like a master grade line of SD. So like SD designs, but like larger and having like the full inner frame, but still being like SD proportions. That would be cool. We've talked about that before. I thought this is something that Bandai really should make. I don't know what it would be called. SD Unleashed, something like that.
SD
I don't know. SD full mechanics. It'd have to be something that's different from the other lines, so it couldn't do that, but something along those lines. SD something. I think. SD big.
SD
all right.
XL. That's a good one.
XL, yeah, there you go. That's nice. All right. Let's switch over then to Instagram. Let's take some questions here from the Instagram post. If I can get this up here for us. All right. Mike asked, thinking ahead to next year, do you have any goals you want to work towards? Being it a hobby skill like scratch building or some business aspiration, something related with the business?
Yeah, I mean, so that's a two-part question. So as far as like hobby skills, for me, I just want to get better at, I guess, claw plate details. I have not really done a whole lot with that. Like I've done little like tiny notches and things like that, but actually building out like an Under Armour piece of a skirt from an old master grade kit that's just kind of like hollowed out in the back. I think that would be cool. Working on like putty sculpting skills, I think I go along and help with that as well. So that's kind of what I want to work on. Whether I have the time to do that or not is another question. As far as a business aspect, hopefully our new building will be done. So we'll have the fun. I'm sure it will take us a week to move from this into that, which will be interesting and fun to figure out. But, you know, constantly updating our website here and there with different things. If anybody has ideas, feel free to email us on things that you would like to see. You know, because we've had ideas from other people before that we've ended up implementing. But yeah, just slowly making the website better. Hopefully being able to get more kits, you know, from Bandai.
And that seems to be a thing, right? We just
that's probably a common trend amongst the stores. But just, you know, make it so websites easier, better laid out. Maybe adding features that we've wanted to add in the future. Yeah, that's kind of it for next year. The big thing would be moving into our new building and making sure that's laid out properly and efficiently. And
yeah, that'll be, I'm sure, a big thing that hopefully goes as quickly and smoothly as possible when you're doing like, you know, of course, online business where you're shipping stuff out day in and day out. Can't really take a break.
Yeah.
Than that, but I'm sure people will understand. It'll just be a short delay, and
yeah,
that'll be fun. All right. Let's see. Tuse Morte said, "What kit are you currently building? Currently building anything?"
Master Grade Gyaradoga I've been working on, and then I also have the Mark V. I still have yet to finish. Master Grade. I think those are. There might be a few other things that are just here and there, but those are like the two, I guess, bigger ones that I've been slowly but surely getting done.
For me, this past week, I was slamming through like the last few kits that I'll be able to build while we're here. I built up the Master Grade Age 1 Normal, the new Melee's Kenbu kit from what was it? What's the new series called? Was something Senki? Suddenly drawing a blank on the name. Kyokai Senki, yeah, that. And the boomerang, the Bunyip Boomerang, those two new kits out from that series. I built those up. The new Esposito Beta, 30 Minutes Missions kit, and finally got some 30 Minutes Sisters kits.
Nice.
So that's the last thing that I'm just finishing up now is some of the option sets for the 30 Minute Sisters so that I can make a couple of reviews letting you guys know my thoughts on the new line. I can let you know my thoughts so far after building just the main kits so far. I'm actually pretty impressed. They're nice. Very solid, simple. It's like they're generally a little bit simpler, as you might expect, than like the Kotobukiya kits, but the simplicity makes them, very easy to customize, like with the 30 Minutes Missions kits. So yeah, they're pretty nice. I don't know if they're going to kill Kotobukiya anytime soon, but they're putting up a good competition, I think. Yeah. Any news on the NHG Shenlong Gundam? Nope.
Not that I've heard. I'm sure one's in the works, but I have not heard anything at all about that.
Yep. I'm sure it's just a matter of time. Definitely. Yeah. Kina, interesting question about characters. We're mostly always just talking about kits and Gundams, but he asked, "What's your favorite UC Timeline character?"
Oh man, I don't want to go with your main characters.
Oh,
I mean, I like Amuro, but I also like Benager. But let's pick somebody that's not them.
I see.
What's her name that pilots the? You know what? No, I like probably the captain of that more. And Unicorn, who's the captain? What's his name? The guy with the beard, heavier set guy of the.
Zinnerman.
Yeah.
Subaru Zinnerman.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
he was very cool. As far as like Benager goes, I don't really ever see many people really claiming to like Benager. It's either they don't like him or they just have like no opinion. Honestly, I think as like protagonists go in different Gundam series, I actually like him pretty well. I like him more than some of the other ones, definitely. I think he's got it sticks pretty close to like the standard main character story arc of Gundam. But it's interesting, I think. Really, kind of the best thing about Unicorn, in my opinion, is the side characters. Definitely, Zinnerman's great. Ridi is interesting. He's annoying, but he's an interesting character. He's supposed to be annoying, right?
Right.
Marita is awesome, of course, and even what's her name? Now I'm drawing a blank on her name. The
princess
girl, huh?
The princess lady, right?
No. Yeah, she's also kind of not really.
She's more of a main.
Not really that much of a fan. Audrey. Yeah. No, the girl who pilots the Shamblo. So she's only in the one episode. Basically.
Yeah.
It's right on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember it, but she just for the one episode. I mean, she had I think her character was really well written and well acted. Very impactful. Left a very impactful impression for just being the one episode. Why can't I remember her name? I don't know. Just one of those things.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. Lonnie Garvey. Yes, what it is. Thank you. Thanks, Chris. There in the chat. Yeah, Lonnie Garvey. Really wish that I could find like a resin GK of her. I've seen one, like a photo of one, but I don't know if it was something that ever like went into production or is like available anywhere. If you guys ever run across one, send me a link. I would love to get one of those someday. Esta Nathan said, Esta Nathan, I'm having trouble reading you guys' names, or like you guys are putting your names in like code, so I have to decipher it. Just make it like John S or something. What Gunpla skill are you? Oh, okay, it's kind of the same question. What Gunpla skill are you currently working on mastering? So let's get.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't really answer the question talking about goals for next year. Mike's question, but
what are your goals for next year?
Acclimating back to living in the US. That'll be kind of reverse culture shock.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like culture shock, but I mean, it's just like getting used to it. Of course, that's where I grew up, but I've spent all my adult life here in Korea, basically. So I came to Korea right out of college. So I have never like been an adult in America.
Yeah.
So all that kind of stuff, insurance and taxes and buying a house is all like new to me now that I'm 33. Kind of late, but been out. So yeah, just that's the main thing, and making some cool stuff there at USA Gundam Store.
Yeah.
Of course, that's the main thing. Which P Bandai kit? Which P Bandai would you want to see reprinted? What's one that you'd like to see reprinted?
Masquerade Power GM, I think, would be cool for people to get. I mean, it's not the greatest kit in the world, but it's if you like the Power GM, which a lot of people like the high grade one, I think that would be a cool one to get reprinted. And it's more of a, I was trying to think of more of an obscure one that a lot of people know about. What else would be good? I mean, your basic wing ones everyone likes. I would like to get a master grade Jesta cannon. I have not got one of those, so I would like a reprint of that just for myself.
Yeah, both the Jesta and the Power GM. Yeah, I think both of those are like in that camp where they've been reprinted like once or twice, but definitely not as much as others. The ones that I know of that come to mind right away as like not ever being reprinted be like the high mobility type Gelgoog, the Uma Lightning's Gelgoog master grade kit, and also the Gelgoog cannon. Both of those, I think have never been reprinted after their original print. The Dynamite, not the Dynamis, the Destiny Impulse R, the Destiny Impulse R, and the Destiny Impulse Blanche. Those variations of those kits are also ones that I think have maybe never been reprinted, or maybe reprinted once, but I know those are also pretty hard to come by. The Blanche especially, I think, has maybe never gotten a reprint. That one's a pretty hard one to find. The Renashita Alba is one that I know that people always mention as one that's never been reprinted either. The Dwaj, that's another good one. It's not, that one's relatively recent. The Dwaj didn't come out for too long ago, but yeah, hopefully they do reprint that one. It's another really nice one. With the new DOMs coming out, maybe they will.
Hopefully.
They've got the molds out, so they might as well.
Yeah.
For the new parts of those. Someone asked here about removing nub marks on clear color kits. How do you go about doing that to avoid nasty nub marks?
Yeah, so the gum primer tool works really well for that. And then what I found too is if there is any like whitening on a clear, if you take like the thin like the Tamiya glue and just tap it on there, yeah, it'll get rid of the white as well. I found useful.
Yeah, a very little bit of the glue.
Yeah.
You know, like when you take it out, it's got the little applicator brush, like get as much off there, and you only really need a super little tiny bit.
You just need to get it wet is all you need. Yeah.
You can also, I've had mixed success with this when I've tried it before. You can also flash it with a lighter, and it would just, you have to be super careful with this. You need to heat it up enough that like it'll just kind of melt that like kind of fractured plastic inside there back together without, you know, warping anything. So it's possible. I've done it, and it does work, but it depends on how bad the damage is.
Yeah.
And you have to be really careful. Glue would be a much safer option if you have that. But yeah, that's also been my experience using a glass file.
Yeah.
Whether it's, I haven't compared any other products compared to the gun primer one. It's the only product that I've used, and it worked great. I don't know if other products, people always mention there's other products that you can get. I've not tried them though, so I can't say from my personal experience how well they compare. But
yeah, I've tested out, because a lot of people, you look on Facebook, they'll say don't get gun primer, going just to like Walgreens. They're not the same. They're very similar. They do work very well, but the gun primer has a finer filing surface, which works better. But the ones from the stores do work, just not as well, in my opinion, from when I tried it out.
Well, we'll have to test it. It's something that's another thing that's in my long to-do list of videos, is to do a comparison test.
That'd be good.
I've just always kind of figured that it would be like not very noticeable difference. Kind of like when comparing nippers. I always feel like when I'm doing like a nipper comparison, like comparing two different nippers, if you wanted to get like super scientific about it, you could probably find some differences in it, but generally it's going to cut basically the same.
Yeah, like your top. It's funny because I watch nipper reviews, obviously, because we have ours. So anytime that someone does a review with ours in it, it's funny because they're all over the place with like probably the top three, which is us, Despe, and God Hands. And I feel like we're all right there. That it now comes down to how the person, you know, how their hands are angled when they cut and things like that, to where how the cut is different when they actually review it. But yeah. All
right. Bon Cop asks, what Gundam age suit would you like to see in the real grade line?
What is the dragon one? It starts with a D, right? I can't remember. I know it starts with a D.
Yeah. It's not my night. My memory is just not working for me.
Usually you're on top of these things.
Yeah. The Den or something.
Something like that. Yeah. I think it has a Z, and then there it is. Danazine.
Danazine, yes. Thank you, Malambo.
Yeah. I think that would be a cool one to have as a master grade. Yeah. Just because it's really different from anything in any other series, really. I mean, you have some mobile armors that might be animal-like, I guess. That's more like a dragon type thing. So, yeah.
I would just say just the age one normal. I think that if there was going to be anything, that's the most likely. And honestly, I mean, like there's other stuff that, just design-wise, I think would be cool. But if we're talking realistically,
that's realistic. Yeah, don't they? They never did an age one normal. They did an age one. They did the age 2 normal master grade, right?
You're talking master grades?
Yeah. Is that what the question was? Was master
real grade?
All right, that changes a lot.
Master grade, then I understand your answer, Warren. Now, if you're talking master grades, because we don't have any of the like enemy mobile suits in the master grade form.
So then I mean, age 1 normal, age 2. I mean, age 1 normal is probably the one
most
they
likely.
Would do. Yeah.
It'd make for a nice RG, definitely. I could definitely see them doing it at some point. Sure. Yep. Piggy Bakeried something said, any model kits outside of Gundam worth building?
A lot of Kotobukiya kits I think are worth building. The Hex Gear kits I like a lot personally. Their Metal Gear kits I think are great. I mean, if you're into Mecha Musume stuff, all that stuff is really solid from Kotobukiya. So I think somebody that's not Kotobukiya, not Bandai.
The way, I mean, it depends on what you want out of the kit. A lot of kits, I mean, even non-Gundam Bandai kits, there's a lot of cool mecha stuff, like the Metal Gear Panic kits, for example, are basically like as closest to Gundam, well, not being Gundam as you're going to get. Those are really nice. Of course, all the 30 minutes missions line, those are a lot of fun. But if we're just talking like non-Bandai, like Wave kits, they have some cool mecha kits. They're not going to be like as nice as stuff from Bandai or even Kotobukiya. They're kind of like third down the list. But I mean, there's some cool designs, especially if you really like the designs and you don't mind maybe having to do a little bit more scene line removal or something. We'll get there.
Chris's E-model kits are good. For Mecha Musume E-model, the ATK girls, and those are good. My favorite Wave kit, though, is probably the Space Pods, the little crab pod. That's probably my favorite Wave kit that's out there.
Those are very cool. Those and the Dugram kits from Max Factory are also really nice. Yeah. I've only built the one so far, but I definitely would like to build one or two more sometime if I get the chance. So if you like that aesthetic, it's a different aesthetic, kind of a little bit more of that kind of older style, a little bit kind of derpy style, those ones. But that's one that I could have answered to the question before about what's something you didn't like. You didn't used to like the design, but it's grown on you. Like the Dugram designs have grown on me quite a bit. Here's a question about something stock related, which we haven't had too many of. I kind of tend to skip over them sometimes because we have so many, but he's asking about the 1/48 scale mega size Gunpla. Any news of any of those on the way that you know of?
Yeah, so we had a meeting with Bandai 2 weeks ago, and in that meeting, they hinted at the fact that we will probably see less perfect grades and less mega size kits because they take so much time and material to make one of them. And since the demand is so high and they're not being able to produce as many kits, you're gonna see more 144 scale kits, more stuff that's smaller that they can make a bunch of to get out there. So in the next few reprints and restocks, you'll probably not see. I mean, they did say that, and then there was a perfect grade for the January, February, March reprint. So there was one, but there was no mega sizes, and most of it was your high grade kits, your 30-minute mission kits, stuff that did not take a lot of time and material to make one kit. So they're trying to get smaller stuff, a lot of that smaller stuff out there because, people are obviously, into high grade kits and stuff like that. And I'm assuming you can make 8 high grade kits for one, perfect grade or one mega size type thing. So
unfortunate.
Yeah.
You guys know I love those mega size kits.
Yeah, and hopefully things kind of start catching up. I think what put a lot of people behind was all the holiday stuff coming in, because a lot of retailers here in the US, we get all of our Christmas stuff last month, like October, and was it September? The end of September, October is when all the Christmas stuff comes from overseas to all the retailers here. So hopefully now it's dying down. I mean, there's still tons of ships that are out there waiting to get unloaded. But there shouldn't be as many ships as there were coming. So it should hopefully start easing up through December and probably through January. Fingers crossed, anyways.
All right. For this next question, we may have to throw to a visual aid, but and Apple's asked, out of all the Gundam Battle Operation Code Fairy Gunpla, which one are you the most excited for?
I'm gonna need a visual aid.
Yeah, I'll put this up on screen in case you need. They put out this image here.
So the one on the left.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have not looked into this at all. I know, but it looks more like a well, I want to say Jim, but it's got the chin. But I like the way that head looks, and I don't know. There was something similar to that in was it in Origins where it was like a test suit or something?
I don't remember, or maybe Thunderbolt is maybe what you're thinking.
Might have been Thunderbolt that I'm thinking of, where it kind of had no face or anything, kind of had that like blank metal plate sensor mask on it. I think that's cool personally. So.
It does look very cool. The face on that, definitely, and it reminds me a bit of the Jagan. Not the Stark Jagan, but the Equus type Jagan had that kind of similar thing, right?
Yeah, it looks like a mobile. What do you call it? Like a mobile armor that someone would put on. Have you seen those like model kits where people will make them and they're like a armor suit? That's what I'm thinking of, like an armored suit type thing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think I remember I saw someone saying that it's like a variant of the not the Pixie. What's Pale Rider?
Okay, yeah,
it's like related to the Pale Rider, I believe. Honestly, like the middle one's really interesting with the whole crown thing. That's a very unique aesthetic, and the Ifrits. I mean, as much as I love the Ifrit and all the different H2 Ifrits are really nice kits, I don't know how exciting another one of those will be. I haven't seen anything more about it other than this image, so I can't really see too much about really what's different about it. I think it is maybe shown in one of like the promo videos. There's a couple of like little short videos where you can actually see the mobile suits a little bit more. But
just because this is a game, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah. Based on what I've seen, I haven't seen any more of the E3, so I don't know what it looks like. But yeah, the Jim Pale Rider looking one definitely looks really interesting. It's like realistically, probably that's the one I'd be most excited about too. But
yeah,
I'm interested to see more about all of them. Really, they all look pretty cool. Yeah.
Yep.
So those will be interesting. All P Bandai though. So
yeah.
What are you gonna do? All right. Let me take one more here for Instagram, then we'll get some from Facebook as well. Let's see. Paulo had one here. It's a little bit kind of lengthier one, but let's see what he had to say. He said, "This is my first time building something with metal injected color parts, the silver and gold for the RG Hainu." Okay, so he got his RG Hainu already. He said, "For the silver parts, even if I cut a few millimeters away from the part and sand it down, I'm still left with a black nub, which is really annoying. And am I doing something wrong, or is there something I can do short of painting to fix the problem?" Yes, great question. And I don't see this talked about very often. I feel like when I mention this from time to time in reviews, I feel like it's kind of people maybe don't understand what I'm talking about unless I like explain really clearly. Because I don't see it's talked about much, but you know what he's talking about, right?
Yeah, the electroplating on the so it's injected molded, and then they electroplate it, and that's why it has that nice shiny silver and gold. So when you cut that off, you're just getting the plastic underneath, which is usually a black plastic. And so trying to cover that up. If it's silver, usually was it Molotov, I think is the name of the company. They make like little chrome pens. Yeah. Those work pretty well, depending on the size too. Like you don't ever want to sand nubs on these parts either. There's different paints you can try to do to fix it up. It's very difficult, honestly, in my opinion. I have not found anything perfect. You're just kind of putting a Band-Aid over it. Really.
Yes, that's for if the parts are plated, like Adam's saying, electroplated, or even not electroplated, but just plated with gold. Like for example, like the Masquerade Hyakushiki 2.0.
Yeah. Is he talking something different then?
I think what he's talking about is the metallic injected parts, where it's the actual plastic has that metallic actually in the plastic. And
why would that have a black nub though?
It seems weird that it would be in a black color, but there is the problem that you will always see nub marks with those kits because of the way that the plastic flows through so the gate is where the plastic flows into the part in the mold. And so that metallic,
particles.
the metallic what is it, pigment that's in the plastic kind of sticks like around the outside. So basically you imagine like the gate is like a straw and all the plastic's going in. So like you'll have metallic pigment around the outside. So when you're cutting down and like removing the nub, you'll have like a mark there that basically it just doesn't have the metallic pigment there. So yeah, it will stick out and it looks different from the rest of the part. So basically, yeah, whatever you do, you can't get rid of that unless you paint over it. And that, again, like Adam's saying, you can maybe try to touch that up, but there's just, it just seems like it would be nearly impossible to try to get a paint marker or something like that that's going to match the exact color.
Yeah, for that, I don't think there's anything you can do because literally the plastic, the part itself is going to have, and you don't know how deep that is in that part either, because it could go. I mean, you're going to see that circle on the outside, because I'm assuming from the ones that I built, you're going to have it, let's just say it's on a flat part, you're going to have a circle on that flat part even when you cut that nub off, just from even around where that nub is. And depending on how much plastic flows into that, I mean, it could, you know, in the buildup of those pigments, yeah, you couldn't even sand that off because you're just going to keep digging down into it.
Yes, that's the problem with metallic injected kits.
Yeah,
indeed. And I feel like it's just something that less people are aware of, because kind of everyone's kind of aware of the plated kits, how you know you're always going to have nub marks, but I think fewer people are kind of aware of this ahead of time, unfortunately, and they find out the hard way that you have kind of basically the same problem with the metallic injected kits.
Yeah, it threw me off when he said there was a black nub there.
Yeah, it could just be just much darker, because if at least like for what it could be is that like the main plastic color is like relatively dark, but it's just brightened up a lot with the metallic pigment.
Yeah.
And so without the metallic pigment, it's kind of a darker color, maybe not be necessarily black, but just darker anyway. That makes sense anyway. I'm assuming that's probably what he's talking about.
Yeah.
All right, let's take some handful of questions here from Facebook post, and then we'll get to the giveaway for today here. So what was John Chan asked, what was your surprise kit of the year? I feel like he or someone else asked the same question last time. That seems like a very familiar question. And I don't remember what I answered last time. So
what is
what was a kit that came out that you were really surprised this year?
Wait, what was the question? What would I be very surprised about?
Yeah, something that you weren't expecting. Yeah, I think I remember last time we talked about this because we were talking about how we were surprised by the like RG Zeong when that was announced.
Okay. Yeah, so let me think of something other than that. I was surprised when they announced the Neo Zeong. That was a surprise. I didn't think that they would do something that big
this year.
Oh, this year?
Yeah, he's asking about this year.
The Dom 2.0 would probably be a surprise for me. And it's not even a 2.0, like a 1.5. Yeah, I think that's more of what surprised me, that it wasn't a full 2.0. So out of all of them, I mean, you could say the kits that were a new series that we didn't know about, but
the Eclipse, the master Eclipse, because that's completely
I feel like you always know they're going to make new kits off a new series. So for me, I guess it would be a thing that they're remaking and then decided not to do a full 2.0 of. Yeah.
Drew asked about Gundam Age. Is it a bad show or is it overlooked? What are your thoughts about it?
I've watched 3 episodes and then stopped. So I don't know if that answers the question or not. I mean, it's for some people. I mean, some people like it. I mean, everyone's going to like something different.
Sure.
I like Seed, and I know a lot of people don't like Seed. So it just kind of depends on you and what you like. If watch a few episodes. If you like it, watch it. If you don't, then turn to something else.
Yeah. I think it's. I mean, if I had to guess, because I've not seen it, unfortunately, and it is one that I would like to see. Someday. I would like to take the time to actually watch it. But I would say it's it's probably more overlooked than it's bad. I would imagine it's probably not that bad based on what I've heard about it. It seems like most people who have watched it do enjoy it well enough. And most people who usually you see people dogging on it, they probably have not actually watched it. They just didn't watch it because they didn't like the animation style or whatever.
Right.
And so in that sense, I would say it's probably more overlooked than bad. Just people didn't want to give it a chance, which, I mean, is unfortunate. And so I guess you could say that that was kind of a bad decision on Bandai's part to go with that animation style that didn't appeal to a lot of fans, but they did something different. And yeah, I don't know. There's fans and a lot of people who just didn't want to give it a chance. I would still like to see it eventually. So
yeah,
the same thing can kind of be said about Turn A as well. And that's something I have seen and I absolutely love and always will recommend for people to watch Turn A. Will the US ever get a life-size Gundam statue? Jay asked.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Bandai's top 3 are obviously Japan is number 1, China's number 2, and the US is number 3. And they're for Gundam sales when you look at distribution. So China's getting one right now. So I'm assuming we would probably be in California, which kind of stinks, but I'm assuming that's where it would be, and probably within the next 3 or 4 years, I'm sure they'll announce something like that. I would assume they would.
They got the second location, but the third full size one that they're making there in Japan with the new Gundam they're making in Fukuoka.
Yeah.
So that was pretty surprising to see that. I would not have guessed Fukuoka, but like one reason why, now that I think about it, one reason why maybe they picked Fukuoka over somewhere like Osaka, which would be like the next largest city after Tokyo, makes sense. But the problem is that maybe there's just not any good place to put it in Osaka. Osaka's like Tokyo, it's pretty crowded. Fukuoka is not as big of a city, so maybe they were actually able to have some space to put it, something big like that. Because obviously it takes a lot of space in a country that doesn't have a whole lot of surplus of empty space, especially in any sort of big metropolitan city. So that could be part of the reason, but I don't know. Do you think Gundam Wing was overrated? Mitchell asked.
I'm the wrong person to say that because I would say no. Yeah. I don't think you can ask anyone that grew up with Gundam Wing, and no one's going to say yes to that. I don't think.
His comment continued on to say, if so, am I just stuck on the nostalgia train, refusing to get off because I feel it's the best? I mean, I have a lot of nostalgia for it as well, and there's definitely some really cool designs, and I definitely like Endless Waltz more than the main series.
Yeah.
Overrated, I think it's, I mean, yeah, kind of, as a lot of people maybe haven't watched it in a decade or so and should go back and watch it. It's not that good.
No.
It's not the best series, and there's definitely things you can pick apart about it. But I mean, that's with any series, I guess. There's things you could pick apart about some of the other like more highly regarded series in the Gundam universe as well too. So
yeah,
it is probably a little bit overrated, especially amongst US fans, just due to nostalgia. But people can like whatever they want to like, right?
Yeah.
Update on the Gundam fixed figuration metal composite wings for the MG Wing Zero Verka.
The wings for it?
I think he means for
the
like
plastic
third party.
injected.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they are on a boat. We're just waiting to get them. Yeah, I don't.
The Snow White wing parts, right?
Yeah, I don't have any more information other than that. Sadly, a lot of stuff is just sitting on boats, waiting to get unloaded. So I'll know more once we get a FedEx tracking number from the port or a UPS tracking number from the port. Until I get that, there's no way to know. Sadly.
Nathan asks, what would you say is the best resin kit for a beginner? Are there any that are more likely to fit out of the box?
All
right, have we summoned Chris? Let's see if Chris pops up in the chat.
It's a loaded question because it depends on for resin kits. So if you're getting like the first few out of a mold, they're going to be way better. And then you can order from the same company and get some that have, run through a mold a bunch of times and they're not going to be as good. I started with resin with dress-up kits. So you took the regular Bandai kit, and then they have added armor parts and stuff like that. Those are a little bit. I started with that because it wasn't a full resin kit. But yeah, any resin kit's going to be fun. You're going to learn stuff when you do it. You're going to come in problems with every single resin kit. You're going to have bubbling in it that you're going to have to fix. You're going to have parts that are not going to fit. You're going to have to learn different things, and it's fun. I mean, you're taking on a challenge. It's not something that you easily just follow directions and clip it together, snap it together. So you're going to learn a lot of stuff along the way. But yeah, it's a loaded question because you can't just say yes, this is going to be good, and then all of a sudden you get the 300th one that's gone through the mold and it's it's garbage.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would compare it to like military model kits. If you're someone who's only built Gundam kits and then you try out building like a tank model kit, where you have to like employ some more like modeling skills and techniques and stuff that you can basically just kind of fly right through if you're just building Bandai complex kits. It's the same thing with resin. Like you do have to put a little bit more work into them. Even some of the best kits, I mean, you probably would still need to do like some drilling to put in some magnets or something like that. So there's always going to be a little bit more work involved with them. That's why there's not as much widespread appeal for them, that and just the way that they're made. But yeah, definitely, if you're a beginner, a conversion kit would be the best way to go, because then it's not the full thing that you're building and you're just popping on parts onto a regular Bandai kit, usually.
Chris there in the chat.
Yeah,
he was summoned.
Yes, it was the successful summoning.
3 times a year, Chris Paz will show up behind you.
As far as like any particular kit or particular brand or anything, I mean, like I know the Simp ones are really nice.
Yeah.
So shout out to
June.
to June and Simp Pro. Those are nice based on my own experience and everything that I've heard from other people.
Yeah.
And Chris can speak about that as well. But yeah, as long as it's like anything coming out like recently, like Adam said, if it's a new release, you should be pretty fine. If it's something you're getting like it's like a recast of a recast, that's something that came out like 15 years ago, you might have a little bit more trouble with it. You probably have a little bit more work cut out for you. But if it's something brand new, should be fine. Yeah, there you go.
Yep, they have good ones.
Extreme Squad, UGL Land.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep. Every time I see that Extreme Squad, it reminds me of the SD Astria resin kit. That I really want to put that together. That's something that is on my to-do list for next year, is working with some more resin stuff. I've got an ever-growing backlog of resin kits and conversion kits and things like that I'd like to work more with. And like a character resin kits as well too. It's not like mecha, but I got a bunch of those as well. I would like to get better at doing those, painting skin and eyes, and that's something I'd like to get better at. Anyway, all right, let's see. All right. Kyle said, what PG would you love to see? My dream would be an Epion. I don't think that's very likely, sad to say.
Yeah.
But any other things that you'd
like to see would be a Snanji Stein. But I think the next one we'll get might be a 2.0 Zaku. If not, it would be probably a main suit from a series we haven't gotten a main suit from, or a main protagonist maybe. I doubt that. I highly doubt the main protagonist, but probably a main suit. So what have they not? They haven't done IBO. That would be an interesting perfect raid at Barbados.
Yeah, definitely.
That would be really, I think that'd be solid. Yeah. I think what other, I mean, Age doesn't, but I don't think they're going to do anything Age. Yeah, so maybe the Zaku. They might use the Unleashed one more time in marketing for that.
I think it's just so unlikely that they would do anything other than like a main suit from a series, because they just haven't. I mean, like the Zaku is the exception to that, and I guess you could say the Banshee Norn is kind of another exception to that, but it's like a variant of the Unicorn.
Yeah, I mean they're both. I mean, you think about they're basically
they're both like the main suits.
But it would have to be something that's popular, that's sold well in other lines, honestly, in order for it to get a perfect grade launch.
Yeah, and for that reason, I do think that the Barbatos and just based on the Barbatos' design would lend itself really well to a perfect grade. You know, I think people would love. That's one thing that I love about the Master Grade, and you just imagine that like times 5. I don't know, times 3, 5, something like that, for what it would be as a perfect grade, for how complex putting that frame together would be, and like perfect grade would be super cool, definitely. And let's see here. Well, here's just one more question, which I'm sure is going to have the same answer. But when are the third-party Astray backpacks arriving?
The third party, those are on a different ship, but hopefully soon. Yeah. So there we've got. I think we're up to 6 containers that are sitting there at Long Beach.
There you go.
I believe one is sitting actually unloaded, but just sitting at the dock, waiting to get processed, and the other ones are still on boats. So, yeah. It's not a lot of fun right now. I think for any business, I mean, there's so much stuff tied up. Do your Christmas shopping now.
Yeah, definitely. Get whatever you can get now.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so let's do that giveaway. So we'll first draw for the platform here and make this to 3. 1 will be Facebook, 2 Instagram, 3 YouTube.
Sweet.
So
and we are giving away
Instagram again. Yes.
The clear color Master Grade Barbados.
Just a reminder for you guys in case you missed that. All right. So from Instagram, let me see. Here's Instagram. We had, let me just go ahead and refresh this. 155 comments on that. All right. 70. And I'll ask a question to you, Adam, while we're here, and I'll go ahead and count that out here in a second, as it came out right in the middle. With this one coming up here, what do you think about this new Megami Device Alice design? I'm not really, I love Megami Device, but I'm not really that into this release.
So I like it when she has the actual like robot parts on her more than without them. I like that way more.
The mecha rabbit.
Yeah, the mecha rabbit. When I don't know why we chose this one, but I guess it kind of shows off both both things you can build. But the versions, when you actually put the mechanical parts on her, I think it looks way better. But it's a different design. I think there's another one coming out.
The Red Riding Hood.
That's right. Which I like the Red Riding Hood better. But this, as you said, when you look at the images with the actual mecha parts on her, she looks way better than without them. Yep. But no, I mean, Kotobukiya is coming out with some pretty neat designs. I mean, they're going pretty hard on the Mecha Musume stuff. What's nice is they go for like a one thing. I think Bandai's trying to go for multiple things that you can mix and match, just like the 30-minute mission stuff. That's why they did called it 30-minute Sister. So I'm excited about the one below that, though, the bunny one that's below that one.
That one looks like it'll be fun. That's got some really cool option parts with like the screen things she's got and everything.
Yeah, we actually just got yesterday. I got confirmed that we're getting. If you do pre-order it, you will get the bonus parts. You see how she has like a pink parts, clear parts. It comes with blue parts, and then a scarf that she has too. So we'll be
so similar like the one that came with like the big mecha eagle.
Yep. Yeah.
Thing, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks really cool. And just being that it's from Nuke Matrix, the Fox kit here, which I think should have just arrived, right? Or it's arriving soon.
Yep, it is here. I believe all pre-orders are shipped that don't have something else with it, and there are plenty in stock. Really cool kit.
Yes,
I love the spinal design on that kit. Like you can take off the torso parts, and it's literally just her spine, which is neat. It's a really, really cool kit. Chris, I believe this shirt is up for order on the website. I don't know if anyone can see the shirt, but yeah, I believe it is. If it's not, though, I'll make sure it's added today. But yeah, from Terry. Terry is the artist that does our stickers, and he is an amazing artist. Gundam Yatham, check him out. He does commission work, really, really reasonable pricing. Extremely talented artist, and really a good guy all around. So check out his stuff.
All right. If you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and count our winner for this. You guys ask a question or two to Adam in the meantime.
Yep.
And I'll let you know who the
enter your questions in the chat, and I will go through them. So Thomas asked, any word on metal structure Sazabi? No word at all. We just kind of had that teaser thing. I believe they had something at a show, if I remember correctly, and that was it. When they did the metal structure new, they showed it off at a show, I believe it was a year to a year and a half before it even released. So I'm assuming that's probably the same time frame. And the Sazabi's a lot bigger than the new, so it might be even a little bit longer than that. And these are Barbatorus. They should be coming. I do not have tracking for them yet, but I know that either Bandai has them at their warehouse or it arrived at the port, one or the other, so we should hopefully get them soon. Eclipse Gundam is on its way to us. Fingers crossed, as long as there's no delay, we will get them next week. The real grade high news, I believe, are arriving today. For anyone that missed the beginning of the show, we have a bunch of, they're all sold out. We have a bunch of them pre-ordered. I think we actually might have a few extra that aren't pre-ordered, if I actually remember correctly. But be patient. We will get all pre-orders out as fast as we can. We have a bunch of those coming in. So, keep an eye out on your email. Adam, when I visited the folks in South Florida, we should do a best of beards showdown. Let's do it. I am all for it, Rob. I think Zach is done. All right.
I am. Already. And it is the question just below Sir Bumble here. So sorry, Sir Bumble. I just missed it. It is Inverted Pixel. Hey, there you go. And so congratulations to him. Let's just go ahead and take a look at his question first. He said, does USA Gundam Store have any plans to carry the G Paint line from Studio G in the Philippines? Well, from what I understand, it doesn't require a primer layer.
Not anytime soon. Is it something we've ruled out? No. We have a lot of different paint lines. We carry SMS. We carry E7 paints. So there's a lot of different brands that we do carry that are international brands. Right now we don't have any plans to carry that. It's a very limited line too. I mean, I've heard it's decent paint, but it is a very limited line and color variants that it does have. So if they do expand their color line, it might warrant actually bringing it more in. So,
and just to comment on the second part of that, I don't know. I've not ever used it, and I don't really know much about the paint either. Yeah. So I don't know if there's really that much different about it that makes it so that it doesn't require primer. But really, any paint doesn't require primer. Primer is always kind of like an optional step that you can use, and like depending on how you're painting and like what style you're going for. I know like a lot of times with some like Maschinen Krieger kits, for example, depending on the way that you go about building them, a lot of people don't use primer for them, for example.
Yeah.
Because when it comes down to it, like what primer is what differentiates primer from just like normal lacquer paint is not that much. So you can get away without doing it depending on how you're painting. So I don't know if there's really something special about G paint that doesn't require a layer of primer, but I mean, it just, I don't know, that seems completely subjective. Totally depends on what colors you're painting and what you're doing with it. So I don't know about that, but
yeah.
Anyway, thank you for the question and congratulations.
Yeah, awesome. So our quick little thing here, please send us an email to support@usagundamstore.com with a picture of you logged into your Instagram account. We've seen an image screenshot of you actually logged into it. And then what address you want us to ship it to. We do need an email with all that information and that image before we can ship it to you. Once we have that, we will get it all right out. And congratulations. It's awesome. It's a really cool kit. I liked it a lot.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, definitely. I was actually just at the Gundam base, actually twice this past week, at 2 different Gundam bases. And I was looking at that there, and it is a really cool one, especially because of how cool the inner frame is on that. So to be able to see the inner frame through that clear plastic is pretty cool. So definitely that's a nice one. All right, guys, so that is going to be it for today. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Just before we wrap up, I will just remind you guys again about the Gundam Artifact contest. If you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, go back and watch the last episode or the dedicated video on my channel explaining about the Gundam Artifact contest. You still have 6 weeks at this point for that, so still plenty of time. And I will just mention this again. If you guys are really struggling with the time restraint for that, I may consider pushing back the deadline another week or two, something I mentioned that before, and I haven't really heard from anyone really, except people who are like in countries where it's like pretty normal that it just takes a long time to get stuff for them. So that's just unfortunate, but it's not something like out of the norm. So I don't know, but if I hear from enough people that they really would like an extension on that, then we can do that. But for right now, the deadline is December 10th, so you still have 6 weeks for that. But let me know if you guys have any other questions about that. But otherwise, just check out the video that has all the information you guys need. Adam, anything else for today?
No, just check out Chris Pab's. He said don't forget the core build off stuff. So check out that. Other than that is thank you everyone so much. For some reason my voice is getting weird. Thank you everyone for all your patience, all your support. Without you guys we would not be here doing what we love. So thank you so much for shopping with us. We really appreciate it.
Until next time, guys, hope you all have a great weekend and a great 2 weeks, and we'll see you then. Have a good one, guys.